Introduce yourself, bro.
Yo, how y'all doing out there today? It's the one and only Havoc, the mouthpiece.
It's Havoc, the mouthpiece from the SCC. Only got 3 words to say. South Central Madman. Who riding in the Central? Yeah, the gangsters my.
Which me and Prodigy did a couple of albums together. And I also am the CEO and owner of GWK Records. And I also started and put out a posse called the Murder Squad.
Oh man, that's awesome. I never knew about the Murder Squad. So Havoc, what year did South Central Cartel come together?
Oh wow, man, there was different facets of that. Let's just go full swing all the way back to the beginning. How about that?
That'll work, man.
All right,
for
we're
me.
gonna swing back to I got out of RC, was it Chino Institute for Men? I just got out of prison, and I was staying with my grandmother, and I happened to go to a halfway house over there off of Central, and so when I got out the halfway house, I used to go back and forth for weekend visitations, and during them visitations, I used to see Prodigy's mother, which is Bridget's mother, who was eventually became my girlfriend. Anyway, we struck up a friendship, as I got out, I was going to look for jobs and stuff, you know what I mean? And I come out dressed up, you know what I mean? Ready to go try to get a job, right? Trying to follow my program and get out this paperwork. So anyway, one day me and Emma was sitting out on the porch on 108th in Vermont, and Bridget came out the door, she had this big old Kool-Aid smile on her face. And I kind of felt, she was attracted to a young little, handsome little player. You know what I'm saying? And so eventually, we started liking each other, and we started, dating. And then I met her brother one day, which is Prodigy, and back then we used to call him Head. So Head had came in her house one day, and I happened to be upstairs visiting, and he had a briefcase. It was like a black briefcase, and I was just being funny and goofy, right? Saying like, "What you got in the briefcase?" And he was like, "Oh man, I got rhymes in here." So it shocked me when he said, his brother got a briefcase full of rhymes. So
Did you understand what he was saying when he said he had rhymes?
Yeah, because I'm intrigued by that because I'm come from a musical background. My daddy is iconic.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Iconic in what sense?
Okay, my dad is in the Music Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Chicago Hall of Fame. He got top 10 hits, 5 #1 hits, and he's singing a group called the Shawlights. And my pops is one of the original members. Squirrel is my pops.
That's what I'm looking for. Squirrel.
Right. Squirrel is my pops.
So Squirrel had that voice, man.
Yeah. My pops was second tender. He was next to Eugene Record, who did most of the lead singing.
Right.
But my pop did that high tender. You know how the Temptations to have the lead singer, then the tenor come in, and then the bass come in, then the baritone come in. My dad was second tender. But
Tell me how you seen her.
But he was the pretty boy. So he was the pretty.
Can you hit that note?
No, man, I'm a rapper, man. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Awesome.
But anyway, I grew up in Chicago, man. The son of a legend. My father's a legend. I grew up with Pop Staple and the Staple Singers, the Emotions, the Jackson 5. I stayed at their house on vacation when I was little.
So you had some big influences around you.
Yeah. I was just around music my whole life. I used to go to Soul Train with Don Cornelius when it was in Chicago on Channel 26. I used to try to sock Muhammad Ali at Buck Billiken Parade when I was
How did
little.
Muhammad Ali feel about that?
Oh, he loved the Shawlights. He gave my dad one of their first big breaks. And,
Really?
In Houston. But we'll get back to that. We got a movie coming out about that called Lit.
Okay, we ain't gonna get too far into that.
You're doing too much right now.
So what year did the South Central come out? South Central Cartel.
Okay, we're gonna get there.
But what was the thought behind the name though? Why that name?
See, we went through multiple name changes. So when I found that Prodigy had a rap skill with these raps, because I asked him to bust some of them raps. Like, I'm curious. I'm like, George, nigga, let me see what you got. So he was busting like Rakim. I was like, whoa, he had flow. I was like, man, then that's when that mouthpiece of mine activated. You know what I mean? I activated like mouthpiece time. I said, man, my dad, the woo, 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 woo. I'm ambitious now. I got somebody, then motivated me because I knew that I was destined to be in music when I used to listen to Sugar Hill Gang before I came to California. And that song, God told me I'm going to be a part of something that got to do with this. So I already had it in me. I just didn't know how or when. And so, for a circle, we started a group. And our first group was called Mafia Style. And it was 4 of us. At the time, Prodigy name was MC Def. His cousin, Havoc, the rhyme son, but he was called MC Hell. Then we had DJ Chaos. And then we had me, and I called myself MC Note.
MC Note.
MC Note.
Okay.
Because my street name was C Note for a $100 bill, which is tattooed in prison when I got out to remind me of that prison term, my first one. And so, so the name kind of become conflictual because we're cool with Dale Dog, rest in peace, and Main Street, the Main Street Mafias, right?
Uh-huh.
And Mafia was associated with a gang. And we didn't want to, put a label on us to say we representing a gang or be...
Yeah, because you was fresh out the door, so you didn't want that.
No, it wasn't about being fresh out the door. It's about representing a culture of music, and you don't want to limit to yourself by people saying, oh, you in the gang, and then it creates this image and bad thing that people can use.
Well, I understand
and
that
take
well,
away.
man.
Thank you.
Because limitations are either you put them on yourself or you allow others to put on you. So either way, it's a choice.
Correct. So our thing was we want to be bigger than one gang. We want to represent all the gangs.
You want to be universal.
Thank you. We want to represent the Bloods, the Crips, the Essays, the Pimps, the Hustlers, the Hoes, and whatever it is that...
You pause on the holes. Why is that?
Because I don't want to be misconstrued about how the media takes the words that we use in our lyrics to identify a culture.
So it's endearment, love, when you say certain things.
Right, but it's still a culture.
It's defined differently.
It's kind of like, a man can put his knee, a police officer can put his knee in the neck of a man and kill him, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can tell it straight like that. Or you can say, oh, the man was resisting arrest and he got killed accidentally. What is the truth?
Right.
What is the truth?
We all witness the
truth. The
truth.
media want to do this.
Yeah. We all witness the truth.
But see, we as artists back then, we knew we had a responsibility to be reporters from our point of view, whether you liked it how we did it.
So let me throw a question at you. So, Havoc, Prodigy, right? Mm-hmm. How did you come up with those names, and who were the first Havoc and Prodigy? Because they have a Havoc and Prodigy out of New York.
From Mobb Deep. Okay, eventually when we went through that phase, eventually me and Prodigy started working on Havoc and Prodigy, and we had a record to where he changed his name from MC Def to Mayhem.
What year?
This probably was like 88. 88. And then after he changed his name to Mayhem, he changed his name to Prodigy.
What year?
And that probably was like late 88, 89 when he did a project with a label out of New York called Cahafa Records, where Cahafa Records had the producer who used to produce for Miles Davis and all of them, was one of the producers, and then the people out here on the West Coast was named Tommy. Tommy was like a West Coast division of the Cahafa Records, and Prodigy did a record with them, and also Prodigy did another record with Chaos called Chaos and Mayhem.
So what year did you become Havoc?
Well, I became Havoc probably 89 when we became South Central, as we got closer to becoming South Central Cartel. Because as the multiple name changes and the facets of going through the game, people come in and people go. You get it, they kind of switch up. But the one constant was me and Prodigy kept going to Chris Jamarama, and we kept developing, creating our sound and who we were. And then eventually, Prodigy gave me the name Havoc, and he also mentioned the name Havoc to his first cousin, and then it became a struggle and a battle over the name Havoc.
Okay, got you.
And so he's Havik, the rhyme son, and I'm Havoc, the mouthpiece. So that's how we differentiate ourselves, because our egos wouldn't allow us to say, hey, he said I'm a rapper, so he gonna make the name more powerful. I got an ego. I'm saying I'm the mouthpiece. I'm finna make a voice legendary that nobody else did it other than Flavor Flav. But I'm doing it from a gangster point of view, and plus I'm a businessman too. So I get to add the dimension of what my mouthpiece was, because I was the finance, I had the money, I had the connections, I had everything. So that made my voice more powerful when I spoke on these intros.
Got you.
So
at this point, what was your relationship to Russell Simmons?
Oh, man, I met Russell Simmons at Jack the Rapper. After we had got our first deal at South Central Cartel, we signed with a label called Quality Pump, which was Russ Regan. He's one of two men that sold 1 billion records, him and Clyde Davis. So I found out that he used to work with my dad and them. He used to work in Motown, and there was relationships that were already transcended and crossed paths in the business.
Was that your first deal?
My first deal, $50,000 production deal for GWK Records. Out of that $50,000, I got 20 out of it because, you know, I had paid for everything, the pictures, the masters, the photo shoots, you know what I mean, the videos, pretty much. And plus I was illiterate to the game. So let's just be clear about that.
Okay.
So out of the $20,000 I received, I helped invest in Prodigy, who was becoming more and more transcending into a hit producer, because we was having so much difficulty working with Chris Jamarama and trying to implement our style, and him being R&B and a white boy and being what you say musically, you know, as far as how you structure a song, you know, what's the intro, what's the verse, what's the hook, what's the break, you understand? So he implemented the professional,ism,
right,
and Prodigy started developing to be a producer.
So what was your introduction to Def Jam?
Def Jam happened, and after our first album, and Quality.
What was the name of that album?
The name of the album was In Gats We Trust.
And what was that? What was the famous hit on that one?
Ice-T, you know, Spice One, all of them was on that album, which is all good friends.
Give me the number one hit on that album.
Gang Stories. It's also featured in 8 Mile, the movie.
Yeah, my favorite too is You Get Clowned in.
Yeah, the remake to You Get Clowned, in the original version is that, and then we did a remake called Serving Them Heat.
Right.
1990 motherfucking.
So Ice-T, how do you describe Ice-T relationship with South Central Cartel?
Well,
Is he a big brother?
Ice-T was just a part of the culture of what was going on in L.A. when he put out, you know, 6 in the morning, Police at My Door.
That was hot.
Fresh Adidas.
That was dope right there. That was dope, man.
Little did I know, I left my old school tape. You know what I mean? Woo.
Right.
So we was actually, you know, developing. Ice-T was actually on the scene. And then we was also working with a group called Ryan Poetic Mafia with DJ Ace.
Was Andre Harrell around at the time?
Well, I met Andre Harrell through Russell Simmons when doing my Def Jam days. Remember, there's 3 phases to my career. We had the Quality phase, the Def Jam phase, and then we had the Havoc and Prodigy phase. And then it also extended to where, you know, we had some deals with Tommy Boy. There was a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff people don't know. Like, there's 2 sides. There's the group side of me and FCC, and then there's the business side. There's Havoc, the mouthpiece, and GWK.
So Havoc, the mouthpiece. What is your best moments in music? 80s, 90s, millennium? Where do you fit in?
I would say all of it. Of what we did, the music, of what our music was, that right there is instant history. So no matter, if I never do nothing else again in my career or in my life, I got projects that's in history.
Were you ever sued for sampling? Just asking.
No, we got sued for using MC Breed.
MC Breed.
And You Get Clowned.
Okay.
When you say, now I'm looking dead at you. What are you going to do?
Right.
We use that in You Get Clowned.
You Get Clowned.
See how you made that relevant?
Yeah.
So anyway, that so we just paid them, you know, some racks and got it over with.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. So one more thing, man. You also had a relationship with like Greedy Greg.
Yes. How do you know all this stuff?
Man, I pay attention, man. I try to, know who I'm interviewing and get a feel for who they are.
Outburst Records. They had Domino. They had a few little hot acts. One of them, I'm gonna throw this to Montel Jordan. I remember when I first met him, and you can know, because he wrote in the song YMV, which was Greedy Greg and them, I'm making relevance, and SCC are my homies. Oh, this is how we do it. Listen to it. You be like, now you gonna pay attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay attention
But
now.
that's because me and Montel developed a relationship when he fresh graduated out of college, and I met him at Abbey Road. And we had a long, good conversation. We became good friends. See, a lot of these entertainers in the rap game, I was very close with, because I was the mouthpiece. I got out there. I was unafraid to go out here and use my mouthpiece.
Your mouthpiece must have been really good to spend the night at the Jacksons.
Oh yeah, well that's Pops.
So tell me about that.
2 weeks with the Jackson 5.
2 weeks.
Yes, 2
at
weeks.
their compound.
No, when they first moved to California,
Uh-huh.
I came out here in 1973 or 74, and I stayed with Catherine. Joe Jackson taught me how to play pool. Michael, Randy. The only ones who wasn't there was Tito,
Jackie.
Jermaine, Reby, and
Jackie.
no, the other girl. It's 3 sisters. Latoya.
Okay.
And because I can tell you the house. They got a pool table in one part. They got a piano in another one with their gold records was in. I got pictures with Michael and Randy putting flowers in my sister's hair. I used to play with their German Shepherd. His name was Bolo. And they had the real rat and snakes that was from the cartoon. They had them in a little tank.
Oh, so all that was real?
Yeah, and also they had a swimming pool in the back with a tennis court. I used to ride their mini bikes, right, with Uncle Jack, rest in peace. He used to be the drummer, Joe's brother. And I used to ride in a white van, and drop them off at school every morning during the week. When I stayed there, I used to ride in the van with them to drop them off at school. And then me and Janet and my sister Tawana, we was playing one day, and Philip called us in and gave us cookies and milk.
Man, you got quite a background with this music stuff, man.
Oh, man, it's deeper than that.
So
this is way deeper, man. I got stories
I know,
with
man,
and
but
Tupac.
I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Stories. I got Ice-T story. I got Russell Simmons stories that the world is tripping on right now.
And we're going to do all that. But check this out, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you got a busy schedule and I got one as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I appreciate you coming here today. And before we go out, man, what you got going on in your career today? What music are you about to introduce?
Man,
or are you working
I'm
with
about
any
to change the music game.
There you go.
Far as I have a diva.
What's her name?
Tiffany Lewis.
And she's a songstress?
She's a songstress.
Really?
She is gonna be the biggest thing that hit the 20th century for the next decade.
Is there anything you can mention that she's working on?
Well, she got a hot new single called Real Talk.
Real Talk.
Real
I'm
Talk.
gonna go check
the
that
video,
out.
everything is everywhere. It's all finna be major radio. Her video airs on MTV June 30th between 12 and 1 West Coast time, between 3 and 4 East Coast time. She just got added to Music Choice. We got major interviews all week. She's hot. She's smoking.
man.
She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's spirited.
And she got Havoc the mouthpiece.
No, she got the Game Changer.
Game Changer?
That was in the 90s.
Oh, you the Game Changer
I'm the
now.
Game Changer now. That's what new now.
You done flipped it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
I'm the Game Changer.
The Game Changer. That's what it is. Hey, man, we're going to leave it right there once again, Melly Mel. And
Melly Mel.
We got my man Havoc.
The Mouthpiece.
The Mouthpiece.
A.K.A. The Mouthpiece. But now, I'm the Game Changer.
And we're Next Level, KM Videos, and we're out.
Big shout out to the world and peace.
Shout out to KM Videos, man. Kevmac, my man.
KM Videos. Shout out to KM Videos and Melly Mel in this video show. I appreciate you.
Likewise, bro.